observing with Webb. Just want to show you some things on YouTube in video form because it's a little easier to explain in the video of what's going on in December. So I got my little crib sheet here. We've got a somewhat interesting December. We've got plenty of planets to look at. We've got the Geminid Meteor Shower and possibly a Comet ISON. I'm not going to go through Comet ISON right now, but the idea is that you'll have to look in the morning. In the morning. And if you look in the morning, it's got to be dark. And I believe the path it's going to take is sort of like up in this direction. So the hope is that eventually you'll be able to see it at night. But I don't want to really say anything because it changes, because it pretty much broke up for the most part. So, I'm going to default to anyone else in the AELC that knows more about it, or Phil Plait, the bad astronomer. That's Plait. He is on slate.com, SLATE. He's really good at explaining this, and he keeps up with it. So I'm going to defer to them. But as far as what's going on in the night sky that's predictable in December, we've got some cool stuff. So let's go through, let's look at the planets that we can see first. Let's just go for the 15th. Okay, let's say you want to look at some planets. You've got a new telescope, you want to see some planets. If we look to the west, around sunset, let's say 4:30, actually let's just go to like 5 or 5:30, you will see Venus, okay? And it'll be very bright, much brighter than this video really shows. But it'll be very bright. It'll be the first star, quote, star that you see. That's a really neat one to find. It usually sets by about 7 o'clock. That's what you'll see around sunset. That's about it. Now, if we go on the 15th, what's going to happen is the night's going to go on. It's going to get darker, okay? And, oh, there it is. There's Jupiter. Jupiter's going to rise. It looks like it's rising around 7:30 at that point. And that's going to be in Gemini right there. And if you look for Jupiter, it'll be bright. You could probably mistake it for the brightest star in the sky, which is Sirius. But it's over there. And in fact, Jupiter is going to be close to the moon on, let's find out, the 18th. Okay, so that's a good time to look for it. But Jupiter is going to be out there. Okay, now if we zoom out and go throughout the night, Jupiter is going to rise. And you see how it's getting higher and getting more toward the south. Okay. Zoom out a little bit more toward the south. Oh, and there pops up Mars. Mars will be more of a morning planet. You have to get out after 1:30. But if you wait till the morning, you'll see Mars is actually up in the southeast, somewhere in that area, over here. And also in the morning, you'll see Saturn over here in the southeast, pretty low. It's kind of tough to see that, but if you go out, you can see that in the morning. It looks like it's rising about 5 a.m., so if you have a good view of the horizon, you could see it, but other than that, it's over there in the southeast in the morning. Mercury, not really worth looking for. All right, so let's take a look at some events for this month, okay? Let's go back to December 1st, boom, and let's go to sunrise. Now, I know it's past December 1st, but if you were looking at the moon December 1st, you would have seen Saturn, the moon, and then Mercury, which would have been really cool if I had told you about it earlier. The next day, December 2nd, is the new moon, pretty much. And then we go to the 5th. Now, it's a new moon, so we switch. We look at the sunset off in the west. And we notice that the moon and the Venus are really close together on the 5th. In fact, they're only about 7 degrees apart. And Venus will be about 7 degrees down and to the left of the moon. Okay, Venus will be very bright, like I said. The moon will be very, very cool looking as a what's it called? Crescent. Good thing I know my astronomy. If you go and follow the moon over the next couple of nights, okay, let's see, 6th, 7th, it's a little bit thicker. On the 9th is the first quarter moon. That's when it is half lit, and you can see it from from sunset into midnight. You might even actually be able to see it during the day if you know where you're looking. Then let's follow the moon a little bit more. So you've got 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. 13th. Let's get it to nighttime. 13th is really cool because 13th and the 14th, you've got the Geminid Meteor Shower, which is usually a pretty good meteor shower, but look at the moon. Whoop. It's very big and bright, okay? Excuse me. Being big and bright, it sends a lot of light pollution into the sky, makes you unable to see a lot of the meteors. So what you have to do is wait for the moon to get pretty close to setting, okay? So I'm moving time forward, forward, forward. Morning of the 14th, about 4 o'clock. You have to get out after 4 o'clock to see the Geminid Meteor Shower because that's when you won't have any moonlight interrupting, and that's when you'll start seeing some meteors. Look at the whole sky. In fact, you probably want to look away from the moon so that the moon's behind you. Then look pretty much up, like toward the east, okay? That's your general direction that you want to look, okay? But anyway, that's the idea. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. Let's go back to like midnight. Okay, midnight. And we'll go to December 18th. Sorry, 17th. We've got a full moon. Full moon on the 17th. You can see it from sunset to sunrise all night. It's fully lit up. Next night, Moon and Jupiter have a pretty close encounter. And the 19th, they have a pretty close encounter as well. So if you want to know if you're looking at Jupiter, the 18th and 19th, they get pretty close to each other. Okay. Let's see. 21st, winter solstice. Longest night and shortest day for those of us in the northern hemisphere. Okay. And then if we follow the moon, okay, and we go to the 25th, we get the last quarter moon on Christmas morning. If you get up after 1 a.m. on Christmas morning, before sunrise, you can see a nice crescent moon, or sorry, not crescent, third quarter moon, and that'll be very close to Mars as well. And then the next morning, the moon is a little bit lower, a little bit thinner, but still close to Mars. Then we've got a couple close encounters in the morning. Let me just get it close to the morning. So you've got Mars, and then 27th, 28th. Oh, look, the moon is getting pretty close to Saturn. Whoop, too far. Wow. Sorry, it's a little jittery today. On the 28th, Saturn will be here, the moon will be up here. 29th, the moon will be on the opposite side because it moves that far in one day. And yeah, that's really it for December. Again, I would say look up Comet ISON, see what you can find. Go out for the meteor shower, unless it's super cloudy. You might find something. Dress in very warm layers. And yeah, I hope that you have a very good December. And I wish you very clear, dark skies and happy holidays.